morning, everyone. It is very impressive and exciting to see you all here, gathered here in this hall this morning, especially in a day of demonstration, which we thought that maybe only a few people will arrive, but I really thank you and appreciate it for you. We knew that today's issue is important, but the extent of your registration and your presence here shows how much. I would like to invite my dear friend, Advocate Uriel, to start this event. Uriel is the president of the Israeli Chamber of Commerce. He is also the chairman of the Israeli Institute of Commercial Arbitration, the IACA. By the way, in a way, Mr. Lynn is responsible for the demonstrations and the road blocking today, because he was a Knesset member, the parliament, Israeli parliament, and as a head of the legislation committee, he passed two constitutional laws, which known as the Israeli Bill of Rights. And these laws were the reason of the constitutional revolution that were made by the Supreme Court, which stand in the center of the controversy that we're having these days. And I would like to invite Mr. Lynn, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, friends coming all the way from Dubai up to join us in this important session. Now, this session, really, I just want to correct. First of all, I want to tell you, just hearing Menashe Cohen speaking here was worthwhile for me to come over here. But there is much more than that, of course. As a matter of fact, Menashe, I passed not only 2 constitutional laws, I was fortunate to pass 5 constitutional laws. One of them was basic law, the government. I just wanted people to know, and at that time, we wanted to make a real change. So we decided to pass direct election of the prime minister. You have to understand this was at the time that the Israeli democratic system was about to collapse, seriously about to collapse. It was March 1990, and that was the right time to make the corrections, to make the changes in our political system. However, today, as we understand, unfortunately, we have to face this reality. We are living here in Israel in this kind of an atmosphere. You will see the demonstrations, which is a good sign for us being a democratic country. The demonstrations today, as a matter of fact, express and manifest the very fact that people here in Israel are very sensitive to democratic values. You cannot really pass laws just because you have a very slim majority in our coalition in the Knesset. So this is a good sign, as a matter of fact, for our democratic system, the way that people feel about it, how they react to that, because you can make many, many changes in the democratic system if the people are indifferent. But when the people are not passive and are not indifferent, it's very difficult to do it. And we are seeing it and realizing that, and it's really just the kind of reality, the kind of environment in which we are today conducting this session. We are talking about international arbitration. And as being an international arbitration, I want to make only a few comments. And I want to make a few comments only out of my personal experience. Because I think personal experience sometimes can be a better guide than, reading books. And I was fortunate to be an arbitrator in ICC arbitrations. One of them was in Zurich. I had to travel to Zurich 6 times. And I didn't know I was staying in a very good hotel. Later on, I found I was staying in a very good hotel. It was very nice, visiting Zurich 6 times. It was quite nice. Costly, of course, not nice. And it lasted about 5 years. And I had 2 or 3 more arbitrations. And here in Israel, once, in the year 1992, the Israeli banks were tempting their clients, regular clients, to invest in fiduciary funds of the banks. Not financial people who are really very, very expert in financial matter, but ordinary clients, convincing them and even giving them loans to invest in the fiduciary funds of the banks. And of course, later on, the value of the fiduciary funds went down and almost to a total collapse. And the banks were telling the clients, please return the loans. There was an uproar. And the Israeli parliament had to solve this problem. And fortunately enough, they appointed me to be the chairman of a special arbitration board dealing with this matter. We managed to finish 240 cases in a matter of a year and a half. And when I'm telling this to people, hey, how is it possible? In a year and a half, 240 cases? They're like, yes, this is a reality. 50% was done by compromise. And the other 50% without a compromise, but nobody ever appealed. Only one appeal. How did we do it? Well, as a matter of fact, we had a board, I have to admit, with two excellent financial people, two auditors, that were finding very well and very fast the real losses of the people who make the claims. And they asked me, how did you manage to do that? And I told them, listen, I'm stopped to be a lawyer appearing in courts about 30 years ago or 40 years ago, and I did everything opposite of what is being done in the courts. Simply everything opposite. And I can tell you how I did it opposite, but I don't want to take too much time. But I can tell you everything opposite. We're calling the parties and tell them, listen, come over here, bring everything that you have in one session. No nonsense. You have a lawyer, come with the lawyers. You don't have documents, come with the documents. Whatever you have, prepare yourself, come with everything that you have supporting your case in one session. And they came in one session. The minute they said, I told the party, I told them, listen, I want you to be relaxed completely. I want you to feel well, because you are not going to leave this room before you will affirm to me that you brought everything that you want to bring. So you will be able here to present and give us everything that you want. So don't be in tension, feel completely relaxed. Work well, work well. So coming out of this experience, I'm saying international arbitration. We have to find a way, and I think we have to face the challenge. How do we work for the parties? How do we invest our thoughts in changing the procedure, changing the attitude, so that the parties in international arbitration know that we're working for them, and this is our prime consideration, to work for them, to make it really worthwhile for them, to finish all international arbitration cases in one session. The one session can last maybe 1 day, half a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, but one session. And of course, you can make all the preparation before that regarding presenting allegation, I don't care what. But when you decide to come, you do it in one session. And as a matter of fact, I had an ICC case arbitration in Vancouver that we finished everything in one session. No more traveling, one traveling to Vancouver, 2 or 3 days, and we ended that. And I think this will be a basic rule in international arbitration, because traveling takes so much time, it's costly. And we have to gear the procedure of international arbitration to this target, to this goal, that everything will be finished in one session. And if the parties will agree to that, and they can present, of course, everything, prepare themselves for this one session, I think this is going to make things much easier and less costly to the parties. Instead of going 6 times to Zurich, or 5 times to Dubai, or lasting the whole arbitration for 3, 4, 5 years, whichever. And this is my proposition, the main proposition today. As a matter of fact, I do have, of course, an agenda which is much wider, but I don't want right now to tire the audience. I want to try to concentrate on this simple concept that international arbitration should be initiated, started, and finished in one session. Thank you very much.